actually telling you that nobody has the ability to tell what's best for you. They just really cannot do that. I can't know what's best for you. I have no idea what's best for you. Even if you told me, I couldn't tell you because only you know what's best for you. There are different reasons why we don't trust ourselves. The main ones are because we were never taught there was even such a thing as trusting ourselves. We were never taught there was something inside of us that knows, or at some point in your life you betrayed yourself, and after betrayal, you got wounded and you lost trust in that person. That is you. Makes sense. At the end of the video, I will give you a very key important element to implement in your journey to trust yourself. So the first thing that you want to do to gain this self-trust back, to be able to trust yourself again, is to actually heal your relationship with yourself, heal your ability to trust yourself. And so this is the topic of another video that I've made, how to heal your self-trust, how to heal your relationship with yourself, that I strongly advise you to watch. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is that, heal your relationship with yourself. The sneak peek of that video is that there is an actual relationship between you and you. Just like there is a relationship between you and your partner, you and your mother, you and your friend, there is a relationship between you and yourself. Imagine yourself as another person outside of you. You have a relationship with that person. You do the same kind of relationship that you have with anybody else. It is real, and you have to take this relationship seriously. And you actually hurt yourself. You let yourself down. You hurt yourself so many times. Not very surprised. It's hard for you to trust yourself now. So that's what this is about. I'll let you check this video and I go on with the next key elements that you must implement to start trusting yourself again. So next, you need to start prioritizing what you think and not what other people think. Sounds like an easy advice, but I swear if you start implementing this on your daily basis, you're gonna start seeing huge changes. You're gonna start realizing a lot about what you do and where your trust goes most of the time. You're gonna realize that you give so much power and credit to the outside world, to other people, over you, over your own judgment, and that doesn't make sense. So start prioritizing what you think, and that's a good transition for the next point, that is start taking yourself seriously. Yeah, you need to start taking yourself seriously. I can tell that you struggle thinking that you might know stuff, that you might just know. And that's funny to watch you thinking that, because you do know, but you're not aware of that. And as I was saying before, you're giving way too much weight and power to what anybody outside of you has to say over your own thinking. And that's not normal. That makes no sense. This is deep. You're not giving yourself credit because you have no consideration for yourself and your own judgment, your own ability to know your own potential. So that's why I was saying before, you might want to start digging deeper into the whys, what I addressed in that video, heal your relationship with yourself, heal your ability to self-trust, because sometimes it's very deeply rooted in our childhood, in our wrong programming, and it requires a deeper introspection. But yes, you have to actually start taking yourself seriously. You have to understand that you know stuff. You know a bunch of stuff. Everybody has the same ability, okay, to get access to the information, to accomplish things. Everybody. Nobody has more predisposition as anybody else. It doesn't work like that. The only difference between people who go very far in life, in what they are doing, what they're accomplishing, and you, only difference is that they know they can. That's all. That's the only difference. The difference between people who speak up and say a bunch of stuff and look very smart and intelligent and interesting and convincing, the only difference between them and you in your room, shy to speak up about certain things that matter to you, only difference is that they do know. They trust their judgment. Right or wrong, they trust their judgment, and you don't trust your own judgment. You don't think you might be right. You don't think you might hold important information. So I'm gonna tell you something, because I have been there, and how many times I've seen this in my life. You tend to give, okay, the weight of your own life, your own future, by asking other people to make decisions for you. You know, sometimes you just don't know what to do. You're hesitating between this and that, or you just don't know what kind of decision to make. And what do? You go out there and you just ask a random person sometimes, or someone you know, whatever. What should I do? I really don't know what to do, so I'm gonna ask a complete stranger or somebody to take that decision for me. The level of disrespect you have for yourself is unmatched. You don't know what to do, and so you're giving this extremely important decision that is impacting your life to other people, parents, friends, strangers. You're asking them what to do. Depending on what they're gonna say, you're gonna just do it, because they must know better than me. I guess I don't know. Have you tried asking you what to do? I mean, if you're about to just do anything, whatever, because you don't care anymore, well, you might as well just ask yourself what to do, because you have nothing to lose. So just ask you what to do and just do that. But you know, we can be so non-considerate towards ourselves, and that's a big problem. It's a big problem in society. So let me tell you something, okay? You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly where you're going. I know it's not obvious sometimes, not very clear. It looks like it's nonsense, but really there is something inside of you that knows exactly what it's doing, where it's going. And the only problem, the only thing that brings you frustration and disappointment is you, because you're trying to make sense of what exactly is happening and where you're going and why this and that is happening, and you're actually in the way. I can tell you that there will be a moment in your life when you're going to look back and finally understand what the hell all of this was doing. You're going to finally see the bigger picture and the big puzzle and be like, oh, okay. Oh, I get it now. All right. But it takes distance and time and trust. And because you want to make sense of everything right here, right now, you're actually in the way, very much in the way. The only thing blocking is you. So you actually need to get out of your own way, because I repeat, you know what you're doing. You know, if you were ever hesitating, now this is the confirmation that yes, you do know. I'm telling you, there is something inside of you that is doing stuff. Same goes for everybody. And the only thing that is making us, up so many times, it's us, the thinking mind that needs to make sense of everything, that keeps getting in the way, that keeps making decisions, that is contradicting what we were about to do. But because we can make sense of things, we need to make sense, it needs to be logical all the time, we keep getting in the way of ourselves. So please understand that. Please understand that you know what you're doing. Can trust yourself, that voice. And also, only you can know what's best for you, nobody else. So I'm not saying this like no one can judge me. It's not in that meaning that I'm saying this. I'm actually telling you that nobody has the ability to tell what's best for you. They just really cannot do that. I can't know what's best for you. I have no idea what's best for you. Even if you told me, I couldn't tell you, because only you know what's best for you. And it's the same for everybody. Everybody has their own, path, and only they can connect to the knowing of what this path is about exactly. Nobody else can do that. So it's useless to ask people all the time to giving away your power like this all the time by giving so much weight and credit to anything else that will tell you do this or do that. It's about seriously starting to connect with yourself, because it is there. It is inside and nowhere else. Only you know what's best for you. A good transition to the next one, that is, stop taking random advice from people that haven't been where you've been and that aren't where you want to be. you're wasting your time. I'm not saying stop taking advice at all. There are amazing advice out there. I've received beautiful advice, amazing conversations that really inspired me in my life, but it's really about no longer giving all your power away like this to the world, to anybody that tells you this or that. It's about starting to select who you want to take advice from, and more importantly, prioritizing what you truly want, what you truly believe, what you truly hear inside. And so every day, people like to give random advice, sometimes even orders based on their own experience, and too often you actually take it so seriously. I see people, and myself, my former self, taking all these comments and remarks very seriously, like, oh, this person said that, my god, I have to change that because apparently I won't get graduated if I don't do things like this or like that. I will never get in a relationship if I do things like this or like that. I will never have success if I don't do things like this or like that. Who the hell said that? Who? Most people who are telling you stuff are not even where you want to be. At least get advice from people that are where you want to be, that are at the destination of your dreams, at least. But otherwise, you need to start disconnecting for this constant, commenting on other people's life and how you're doing things and why you're doing things, and stop giving this amount of power. Because I repeat, nobody can know what's best for you more than you. You are the only person that can know what's best for you and how to get there. There are thousands of ways and it's different for everyone. So don't take everything you hear here and there too seriously. You can get inspired, but if what your own inner voice was saying is different, then prioritize that. Now I'm gonna tell you something very important that you need to implement in your subconscious if you want to truly start leaning into self-trust. And that is the following. You need to understand that this world, it isn't logic, it is magic, okay? You need to understand that. I'm gonna repeat myself. This world, it's not logic, it's magic. So you need to drop everything you've heard before that is very Cartesian and logic thinking, mathematical thinking, and start letting go and understanding deeply. This world is magic. Understanding this is about metaphysical, supernatural. Once you start understanding this, first you will start understanding this world better, and you will stop torturing yourself and racking your brain into trying to make sense, constantly make sense of things, because this is blocking you. There are things you will never be able to make sense of. Never. Because it doesn't answer to Cartesian logic. You will never get the answers if you want to think like that. You will never get the answer because it will never make sense. Entirely letting go and surrender to what I've just said is going to help you lean in more. And finally, trust. There are things that you feel called to do that are just not aligned with what other people would say, society would say, this or that friends, your parents, and you're gonna finally be able to let go and do it anyway. You need to let go of this logic thinking all the time. Logic is an interesting component of this world, but it's not this world. It is not everything. Understanding this truly transformed my perspective and my life. Asking you to start diving into spirituality or anything, but this is still true, and this is something that you need to understand if you want to start having faith in yourself, because you won't always understand what yourself is going to ask you, what yourself is going to tell you it wants. And that's where so many people, stop. They get blocked because, oh, that doesn't make sense to me anymore, or I don't like that anymore, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But if you want to trust yourself, you have to actually trust yourself. So you have to trust blindly. And trust blindly is having faith. So have a little faith in you. Have a little faith in you. Last but not least, I want you to teach that all the knowledge I just gave you, I want you to teach that to the appropriate versions of you who need to hear that. I know that for most of us, it is the inner child, up to 10 years old, very important key period of our lives where so many beliefs formed. But you'd be surprised how many versions of you actually need to hear this. Your inner teen, your early 20s, your late 20s self. There were moments of your life that were key because you experienced this or that type of trauma, and negative belief formed every time we experience a trauma. And sometimes we need to revisit that version of us and talk to them so that they can heal and live So I highly encourage you to go and visit the versions of you, the past versions of you that you know are still very hurt and unable to trust, and give them this information. I promise it does magic. I do that all the time. I can very easily detect what version of me needs healing, and I just go visit them and we talk. I actually give them the new, information that I receive on a daily basis, and they heal. My present self feels better, feels lifted. I can feel a weight lifting from my chest and my perspective changing. So let me know if you want me to make a video about how to connect with any versions of you. And I really hope this video was helpful. Don't hesitate to leave comments, like, and subscribe. I actually have a video about how to develop your intuition as well. So you might want to check that out as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.